Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the LTT Podcast. My name is BrendenPlayz. Now, before we get into this week's episode, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Loot Crate. You can get yourself 10% off the upcoming WWE Slam Crate that will be releasing in December. You can do that by using the code PLAYZ, P-L-A-Y-Z, or Z, if you want to call it like how I do. We call it Z over here. I'm pretty sure Australia calls it Z. I kind of do a mixture of both. But anyways, let's keep going with the show. This is a show where we can answer all the questions that you send in every single week. You can do that by leaving a comment in the YouTube video, or you can head over to our Facebook page, BrendenPlayz Official. Check out the website, BrendenPlayz.com. Leave a voicemail there, or head over to the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums, and you can use our official podcast thread right there to leave your question, and it will be answered if we haven't already covered it. A lot of people kind of ask me questions that I would naturally talk about throughout the podcast, like, what did you think of Survivor Series? Or what did you think of the Goldberg versus Lesnar match? Like, I'm obviously going to talk about that, so that's why I encourage some different questions that perhaps I wouldn't naturally cover throughout the show. That's the best way to get your question heard on the show. Now, speaking of next week and the podcast, there's not going to be one. There will be no podcast next week. I feel bad because it was only, a month ago that I missed a show, and I hate missing shows. That's something that I've kind of prided myself on. You know, I've only missed probably 5 shows in the past 2.5, nearly 3 years of the podcast. I'd say 2.5. I've only missed like 5-6 shows maybe. It's not many, but I always have a decent excuse when I do it. Last time it's because I was so busy making WWE 2K17 content, I just didn't have the time, and you guys would rather probably me make that content rather than do a show. This week, or next week I should say, I'm going away for a week. I'm going on a vacation or a holiday, a trip away, or traveling, or however you want to put it. I won't be here next week. I'm going away, and for all you Australians, you know where I'm going. Some of you overseas guys might have heard of it. I'm going to Adelaide. It's a city that I've never been to before, so it's going to be exciting. Something I've never done before, never been to before. It's in South Australia, which is a long way away from where I am, and it's a part of Australia that I've only kind of been to. I haven't really, to be honest. I kind of went on the border, and I wouldn't really count it as going to South Australia, so this is kind of like my first legit time heading to that state, which will mean that I'm only missing 3 states. Two states and a territory in Australia, and I've done the rest of it, which is cool. So that's going to be really exciting. I'm going there with my girlfriend's family, so that should be lots of fun. I will be vlogging, so I don't know if some of you guys like my vlogs or not. I like doing them. I think it's fun. I don't really do much exciting. I don't really do or go many places, so that's why I don't vlog much. And you know, I don't have the money to go all these places anyway, so that's why I don't really vlog much. But when I do go somewhere, when there is something for me to vlog about, I generally do vlog. So this time I'll be going away for a week. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be doing. You know, I'm the type of person there where I will just go to a place and someone will just organize it all for me, and I'll figure it out when I get there. Sometimes I like to have an idea in advance, but I like to kind of just, you know, a couple days in advance, maybe figure out what I want to do the next day. You know, maybe the day before I'll figure it out. Not a month in advance, not 6 months in advance. I don't really like doing that, but I understand you have to kind of do that if you're going to go somewhere. You have to book it and things like that. So it's all been booked for me. I haven't really organized any of it. I haven't really had much say in what we're doing, which may not be a bad thing. I might be more open-minded to doing some things that perhaps I wouldn't have wanted to do if I don't know I'm doing it. So I think we might be going to a beer factory or something like that, tasting some beer, which is always good. I know we're going to a basketball game, which I have not been to a game in 15 years. So when I was 7 years old, or 6 years old, something like that, yeah. So something like that, it's been a long time, man, like a long time. So that's going to be super cool to get to a game. I've been meaning to go to a game for a while now, but I haven't been able to get a ticket because tickets have been hot around here, and I haven't been able to get one in my hands. So, plus when I have had a chance, I've been busy, so this is a good time to kind of do it, even though I'm not going to be seeing a team that I'm necessarily going to be supporting, but it should be fun anyways. So I'll definitely be vlogging that day. I don't know if you can expect to see 7 days worth of vlogs, because I will be going away for about 7 days. But you might get 3 or 4 vlogs, who knows, I might combine a couple days together if there's not enough content. Or if I'm doing so much shit, well, if I've got 10 minutes worth of shit I've done in the day to show you guys, then you might get yourself 7 days worth of vlogs. So that could happen, and that would be pretty nuts if that did happen, because that would actually cover me for the week. I've had to kind of do videos in advance, and I haven't really gotten around to doing them yet. I've recorded them, but I haven't really gotten around to finishing them off. So that's kind of like my next step at the moment. Right now I'm doing this podcast. Tomorrow I have to get all these videos that I've got planned finished, and Saturday I have to, pack and get ready to go. So I think I'm leaving on Monday. I'm like 3 a.m. Monday. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy time. But it's a time that I'm really looking forward to. I was talking about it in my stream yesterday. I did a little quick stream playing Skyrim. And I felt as though that I've just needed a little bit of a break, some time away from making videos, to just go on to do something else for a little bit. I've been gaming a lot, and I've been super enjoying my gaming. Don't get me wrong. Loving my gaming. Yesterday, I played Skyrim all day. Literally, I didn't do anything else but play Skyrim all day, and I fucking loved it. So close to getting that platinum. So close to finishing that off. I cannot wait. Hoping that I can get so close before I leave. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it and platinum it before I leave, which is going to suck. But I want to get as close as I possibly can. Anyways, so I've been really enjoying gaming, but I feel like just going away, doing a couple different things, maybe even, traveling, something different, might be something I need in my life. Just something different, something fun to do, and a week away could do me a lot of good. Kind of step away from making videos for a week, because, making videos sometimes is a little frustrating. Things don't go your way. Things aren't working. Perhaps your views aren't where you wanted to be. Perhaps you got some negative comments that you didn't like. I've been getting a lot of negativity lately, to be honest with you. So it's kind of like that is in itself is kind of like wanted me to kind of just do something else for, a week or so. But I will be making some videos in advance. Like I said, I've got 3 episodes of Universe Mode I'm hoping to have done to release next week. One will come out tomorrow, so there'll be 2 episodes to go out next week. Probably one might go out, Monday or Sunday, and maybe another one on Wednesday or something like that. I want to try and space them out as much as I can, because obviously whilst I'm away, I can't work on WrestleMania. And once I've done these 3 episodes, I'll be up to WrestleMania. And that will be the next episode I need to do, which I'll probably need a week to make WrestleMania. So it could be a good week and a half between episodes for me to get WrestleMania done, which is going to suck, which is going to be frustrating for you guys. I know a lot of you guys are going to be impatient, but you're going to have to just work with me. It is nearly Christmas time as well. We're getting into that season, so WrestleMania will be a nice way to kind of cap it off and take the holiday season. You guys can kind of focus on spending time with your families, and you might not have time to watch videos or anything like that, or want to watch videos. So it might be a good time for me just to wait until we get to that point where you guys are probably getting some time off, and hit you with WrestleMania, take a bit of a break, we'll come back and we'll smash it. I'll be still uploading during the Christmas time, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be still uploading, but you guys can kind of enjoy WrestleMania and maybe pick it all up after WrestleMania's all done. But anyway, so yes, I got 3 episodes of Universe Mode, hoping to have them out. I think 100% they will definitely be coming out. The other videos are skeptical. Who knows if I'll get them done. Hoping to. I've got 2 episodes of SmackDown vs. Raw 07 GM mode to come. That will just be the Royal Rumble. I'm going to split the Royal Rumble into 2 parts. Part 1 with the 2 championship matches I've got, and part 2 with the Royal Rumble match. Otherwise, it'll be about an hour long, so I'll just split it in half and upload one earlier in the week and upload one later in the week. So I think that'll work pretty well. And hoping to have a career mode video done as well, but it will mean that I won't be able to watch Raw or SmackDown next week, and it will mean that I won't be able to do a podcast next week. So I'll have plenty of wrestling to catch up on when I do get home, which will be hopefully good. Hopefully. Is there a pay-per-view next week? There could be. There could be one while I'm away. I don't know. Actually, no, I think there might be one when I get back. So I'll have a pay-per-view to watch as well. So probably everything will get spoiled for me on Twitter, most likely. Maybe I should probably just, keep an eye out on Twitter and maybe try and get spoiled so I don't have to watch it. I don't know. So I don't have to get spoiled by the pay-per-view. We'll see. But anyways, that is my plans. So hopefully 7 days worth of vlogs. If not, at least some. Hopefully I can get some internet. Hopefully free Wi-Fi would be good, because hotel Wi-Fi is slow and so expensive. Maybe I'll have to camp at McDonald's and use their free Wi-Fi and slowly but surely upload my videos for you guys. I don't know. I've got no mobile data or anything like that to use, so that's gonna suck. But I don't really get much anyways. I don't have this plan where I get unlimited or anything like that. I wish I did, but I don't. So that's gonna be probably a challenge. That might be the biggest challenge of the week, trying to find internet to upload my vlogs. So I think they'll be fun. I think you guys will enjoy them. If not, well, shame on me. I gotta do better, but I think they should be fun. If not, I'll be having a good time anyways. And if you guys can join me for some of it and watch some of the things I get up to, that'll be cool. You know, I'm a very super amateur vlogger. Like, I've only done like a handful of vlogs, probably not very good at all. But you know, it's fun. It is fun. It's certainly something I would never turn my channel into or want to do all the time. But it's certainly something that I do enjoy doing every now and then. And I enjoy getting them out. I don't really necessarily enjoy editing them. They're a bit of a pain to edit. But yeah, I do definitely enjoy doing the vlogs. So you will see plenty of that throughout the week, which I think you guys will definitely enjoy. So that's pretty much the everything that's going on. After I come back from Adelaide, I actually will be going to NXT Live. I got some tickets for NXT, hopefully coming my way. Good old 2K, it looks as though they're going to be hooking me up with some tickets, so that should be cool. I just found out, I think the main event for my show that I'm going to be seeing will be DIY and Nakamura versus Samoa Joe and The Revival, so that should be cool. And hopefully get some nice tickets, hopefully get some good seats, hopefully the show's fun. I'm pretty much going to NXT, seeing a whole group of people I've never seen before, so that'll be cool. Super excited to see Bobby Roode, super excited. I mean, I watched NXT TakeOver Toronto, which I didn't actually write in my notes. I completely forgot that show existed. That's kind of erased my mind, but I need to kind of keep that in my mind. Well, might as well just transition to that now. I thought TakeOver was phenomenal. It was great. Top to bottom, really good show. But I will say that after watching TakeOver, I've now officially confirmed, I think I had a bit of an inkling that he was already, but Bobby Roode, my favorite wrestler right now in WWE and NXT, if you want to include both. Bobby Roode's my favorite guy right now. His entrance is just, I just get a big smile on my face every time I see it. It's just awesome. Just love it. The choir and things like that was pretty awesome, what he did there. It was sick. It was sick. Great reaction for him. It's awesome, and I cannot wait for him to perhaps win the NXT Championship and maybe move to the main roster. Who knows? But I think he's got a big future in WWE, albeit maybe for only a few years, so he's getting up there in age. We'll see how long he does go around for, but it's going to be a fun few years for him anyways. The rest of TakeOver was good. I definitely enjoyed the main event. Was very surprised that Samoa Joe dropped the belt. I actually had the main event spoiled for me because I watched the show late, so I didn't have a chance to watch it. What was I doing that day? Sunday. I think I was busy, but I think I went out for the day, so I didn't have a chance to watch it live. But I did get spoiled for the main event, but it was still very surprising nonetheless. Good match. Definitely enjoyed it. DIY winning. I pretty much had all the matches kind of spoiled for me. I heard the DIY won, and that was a nice moment for them to get that win. I got to tell you, I wasn't really feeling the match, to be honest. I kind of clocked out and then came back in towards the end of it and enjoyed the finish, but I just wasn't kind of getting into it. I really enjoyed the Authors of Pain and TM61 match. I thought TM61 was pretty impressive. They kind of kind of impressed me, that match. Some of the spots they did and some of the things they did was pretty cool. So good from them. That's great to see them kind of breaking out a little bit there. Authors of Pain getting the win, though, probably the right call. They continue to push these guys as massive monsters and dominate everyone. So that's certainly interesting. And Mickie James, I thought she looked pretty good in her return match as well. Her future, who knows? I think she got a pretty good reaction. But she's already kind of lost to Asuka. So if they are going to bring her back, she might have to go to the main roster, because she's kind of like been there, done that, NXT type of thing. So if I was going to bring back to the main roster, I would probably put her on Raw. I think she'd do well against Charlotte, a good opponent for Charlotte to go up against. maybe for WrestleMania. Why not? You know, the new guard versus the old guard, that type of match, that type of feud could be pretty cool. Obviously have Charlotte win, but could be a good person for Charlotte to go over against, to kind of give Charlotte even more momentum, which, you know, I'm going to say it right now, I think Charlotte, when it's all said and done, might go down as one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time. Now, that's a big rap, but everything she's done, her matches, her promos, just her everything, you know, just the whole package, the way she carries herself as a champion, her entrance, the look, everything is great, in my opinion. You know, I've watched enough wrestling, and after going through so much wrestling with the women, where, you know, did I say it last week on the show? You know, 4 years ago, the women couldn't even get someone to clap for them. They couldn't even, you know, nothing. You could hear a pin drop when their match was on. They were the designated piss break. Now the women are legit. The women are doing well, and I got to say a lot of that has to be thanks to Charlotte, because she's been the backbone of the division for the last year, and I have no problem with her being champion. I think she makes a great champion. I think maybe because she's been champion so much and for so long, it is a little stale at this point, but she needs to kind of reinvent herself again, and we'll see if she can do that and kind of put a different spin, a different take onto this championship run. But I'm going to say, like I said, I think Charlotte could go down as one of the great women's wrestlers and women's champions of all time, and that's no joke. You know, look at all the great women over the years. You know, we always talk about Trish and Lita. You know, I think of Victoria, Medusa, Jazz, Ivory. You know, all those women in certainly that early 2000s period certainly have a stake to claim for being some of the great women's wrestlers, definitely. But in recent times, you know, we look at, you know, definitely Mickie James. Beth Phoenix is pretty good, but for a short period of time. And that's probably the issue with Charlotte. How long will she be around for? She is already 30, I think maybe even 31. So that might be the only question, is her longevity. Can she keep going into her mid-30s? Will WWE let her? That's the main question. I know she could probably keep doing it, but will WWE let her, you know, keep going until she's 37, 38? Probably not. That might be the only thing holding her back. But I definitely think she's got all the potential to be something great. I think she is probably the one woman I've really kind of looked at in recent years and just enjoyed everything about her. Probably AJ Lee might have been the only one else to have kind of gotten that out of me, but that was for like 6 months. That was a very short period of time, whereas I think Charlotte might have the potential to kind of keep that going for a longer period of time. But anyways, that's the challenge that she has, but that's a big wrap on Charlotte, but she's definitely been great. Anyways, we're talking about NXT. Overall, great show, top to bottom, really fun, and it kind of shows that NXT still got it. NXT's not done. NXT might be missing some star power, but they can still deliver, and the next, I guess you could say, generation of NXT guys coming through, still doing well, still holding the show up high. You know, you add Austin Aries and Hideo Itami to that card, you know, it's a pretty strong show. But you know, there wasn't that many matches on the show, and it felt like every match was pretty good, though. Like, it didn't feel like there was any filler. There didn't feel like there was any matches on there that I felt as though didn't deserve to be there or need to be there, which is generally the case on a WWE pay-per-view. There might be one match or two matches that, you know, the crowd doesn't really give a shit about, but this one, I really felt as though every match on the show, I don't know if there was a pre-show, but I felt as though every match on there had its place and did pretty good. Alright, now let's talk about Survivor Series, the one that you guys really want me to speak about. We'll start from the biggest moment of the show. Goldberg beats Lesnar in, 90 seconds? I don't know the official time, something along those lines. Wow. That's all there is to say. You know, I was watching Survivor Series and I had an electrician come over and he was kind of working on my house. So I had to kind of transition and I brought it up on my phone. I'm watching on my little screen and I see Goldberg. I'm holding my phone and I'm watching the show. And I'm so excited. In fact, you know, when I saw Goldberg come out, boy, did he look good. In great shape. If he had dyed his beard, it would look like Goldberg from 10 years ago. You wouldn't even, really second guess it. Just a couple more wrinkles. A bit of an older Goldberg. It's the same guy. So you got to give Goldberg credit. you know, you can say whatever you want to say about him. You can give him all the shit in the world. You know, we'll talk more about that later. But you do have to give the guy credit. He turned up and he looked the part. He might not be the part, but he looked the part. And he looked good for a guy who's 49. Man, I wish I would look that good at 49. It's never going to happen, but it'd be awesome if I could. But he looked good. Lesnar, I said it last week, you know, I didn't think he looked all that great. You know, it looks as though he's trying to bulk up a bit more. And, you know, I just get the vibe that Lesnar just doesn't really give a shit at the moment. I don't know. Lesnar might be doing a bit of a soul-searching, kind of trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life. Does he want to, you know, keep wrestling, or does he want to try UFC again, try and go back, or does he want to just retire and give it up and go, you know, sit on his ranch and just, you know, hunt deer? That's the kind of vibe I get from Lesnar. I could be completely wrong. This is a wild guess, but this is just the type of feel that I get from Lesnar when I watch him in the ring, albeit for 90 seconds. But, you know, when you see him kind of coming out into the ring, you know, you just feel like he doesn't really give a shit. And that's kind of been Lesnar's thing for a long time now, but it's a little bit more this time, in my opinion. That's just, you know, the way I see it. Whereas Goldberg, he's back. Looks as though he'll be back for the Royal Rumble as well. We'll talk more about that later. But, you know, he came back. He's in shape, looks good. And he hit a couple of great spears and a good jackhammer. So everything he needed to do, he did it great. Didn't mess up. And the way they honestly booked that match, if they had Goldberg winning, they did it in the perfect way. If Goldberg was going to win, that's the way they needed to do it. Have him come out, don't spend too much time in the ring, a very short match, something similar he would do back in the day. Boom, boom, couple spears, jackhammer, get me out of there. Get Goldberg out of there before the crowd start to see any flaws, see him trip up, see him mess up, see him botch. The crowd, they don't want to see that. So, the way they did it was great. Absolutely perfect. Would I have had Lesnar lose in 90 seconds? Hell no. I didn't think it for a second. No one really thought it. No one really suspected Lesnar was going to lose. You know, some people may have thought, alright, I think Goldberg might win. But I don't think anyone ever suspected that he would lose in 90 seconds. No one. I mean, Lesnar, I've read comments saying he's been buried, he's finished. I think he got embarrassed. If I was going to use a word, I would say Lesnar was embarrassed. The thing is, can Lesnar come back from it? Absolutely. Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar, but I think holding him off until the Royal Rumble to bring him back is a major mistake. I personally would have had him come out on Raw, and I would have had him tear up the ring. Tear it up, you know, similar to what he's done in the past. Come out here and have Paul Heyman come out, and Heyman goes to talk. He's about to say something. Lesnar takes the mic off Heyman, and Lesnar himself says, I want a rematch, I want Goldberg, and I want him now. And basically say, I'm not leaving this ring until I get it. I'm going to beat up anyone who gets in my way, and whatever. And basically holds the show hostage until he gets what he wants. And maybe, you know, Stephanie comes out and says, you know, Goldberg's going to be in the Royal Rumble. That's the best we can do. We'll put you in the Rumble with him, or something like that. If they don't want to do a Rumble match, they want to save it to WrestleMania. That, you know, that's the way I was thinking. I was thinking, without a doubt, they were going to do Lesnar and Goldberg one-on-one at the Rumble and not save it to WrestleMania. I think it's a bit of a mistake to be saving it to WrestleMania, because I feel like it's going to lose a lot of heat. I think people might not care when it gets to WrestleMania about this match so much compared to now. So if they did it at the Rumble, I still think a lot of people would be more inclined to tune in for it. But Goldberg, with the potential that he might go on to win the championship, I guess, gives him a different thing to go with. Lesnar comes into the Royal Rumble and takes out Goldberg and either eliminates him when he's actually illegally in the match, or eliminates him when he's not actually in the match. Quite similar to what they did in 2004. So that's the way I see it anyways. I see these guys going up against each other in the Rumble at some point and messing around with each other. Either, you know, Goldberg, you know, eliminates Lesnar again. I would say that the better thing would be Lesnar gets his a little bit of revenge on Goldberg, eliminates him from the Rumble, and Goldberg gets back in there and eliminates Lesnar after he's been eliminated, setting up for a WrestleMania match and to do the rematch, the third match. And I would say Lesnar beats Goldberg at WrestleMania, gets his win over Goldberg, and instead of Goldberg embarrassing Lesnar, I would have Lesnar do the opposite. I would have Lesnar beat the shit out of Goldberg. Maybe not 2 minutes or 1 minute. I'd probably make it 3 or 4, 5 minutes. But yeah. Goldberg's going to be loving this, though. I saw on WWE Shop, he's got like 4 or 5 shirts out already. I've seen a lot of people in the crowd wearing his shirts. Apparently his son doesn't know how to wear a shirt. I don't know what the hell that was all about, bringing his son into the ring. I have no problem with him bringing his son in the ring, but taking his shirt off was a little weird. But other than that, that's the only thing I can complain about. I was like, what? Why is his son in the ring with no shirt? It just looked odd. So next time, keep the shirt on him. I think they might have learned from that. Keep the shirt on. But yeah, he's got a lot of merchandise out. People are buying the merchandise. He's probably making a shit ton of money. So there's no, absolutely no way. It'd be stupid not to bring him back for another match. If he's willing to do it, they damn well should pay for him to come back for another match. They're making a hell of a lot of money off him. They're getting a return on their investment. The crowd are going nuts whenever he comes out. His entrances are awesome. People are chanting his name. People, like I said, buying his merch. I'm sure they got a bit of a spike in Survivor Series and network subscriptions. I'm sure they did, with people wanting to see that match. I even saw some buzz on social media about it. People talking about it. People I've never seen, talk about wrestling in my life was talking about that match. So there's a bit of buzz. Something that WWE doesn't have. Goldberg, even though he's 49, he's bringing it, doing something. And they got to keep capitalizing off that. So smart to get him back for another one. I thought his performance was superb. Can't fault it. Everything he did in the ring was great, albeit 3 moves. But hey, that's all Goldberg generally did back in the day anyways. So it was a typical Goldberg match. It was a Goldberg throwback match. I wouldn't mind seeing Goldberg on Raw having another match before the Rumble or between the Rumble and WrestleMania. Just maybe the one-off match on Raw against somebody, just to kind of give us a little bit more than just Goldberg and Lesnar. Maybe Goldberg and maybe Goldberg. They wouldn't do Goldberg and Reigns, but maybe Goldberg versus a lower end guy. Jinder Mahal or Curtis Axel or something. Goldberg just spears him and beats him in like 30 seconds. Something like that would be fun, and he can hype up his Royal Rumble appearance, come out, cut a promo, have a bit of a match or an altercation, something with someone. Curtis Axel or Bo Dallas or someone would be probably perfect for that, to come out there, talk shit to Goldberg. He spears him and maybe beats him in 10 seconds or whatever. And yeah, so I would do something like that with Goldberg probably next, but I keep him off TV until it's Royal Rumble time. Because generally Christmas time is probably like the worst time for ratings for WWE. This next month is generally when WWE does some of its worst ratings of the year, the holiday season. So keep him off TV, bring him back when people are watching, and bring him back when the Rumble's coming around, because the Rumble should be a lot of fun. And Goldberg in the Rumble, I don't think he's going to win. I don't think there's really any chance of that happening, but it's going to mean that it will definitely be interesting. What will happen in there? He might get 4 or 5 eliminations. He might kick some ass. And maybe Lesnar will get in there and take him out. Who knows? Maybe someone else takes him out. I think the money match is Lesnar and Goldberg again, though. So we'll move on from Goldberg. I know it was a lot to talk about with Goldberg, because he's really the main thing of the show. It was the main talking point. We do actually have a lot to cover in this week's show, so we might have to fly through some of this a little bit quicker. We've kind of spent half an hour talking about a couple of things. I really enjoyed the SmackDown elimination tag match with the SmackDown vs. Raw elimination tag match with the men, I should say. SmackDown won it. That's what I was going to say. Question I have, a lot of people kind of brought this up. Did Shane McMahon deserve to be in the match instead of a young guy? I say yes. I think Shane McMahon brought about a reaction. He had a purpose, storyline-wise and non-storyline-wise. I think he was fine. His performance was okay. Reigns destroyed him with the spear. That was a cool spot, cool moment. Shane also going through the table was cool. Randy Orton hitting the RKO on Rollins, that popped me. I did not see that coming, and that surprised me. Lots of cool moments in this match, and lots of things they can work with beyond this match with. Obviously, the Owens and Jericho thing happening on Raw, that was good. The Ambrose and Styles thing happening, they've been able to continue that. The Shield reunion, I nearly forgot about that. That was cool. Lots of cool things happening in this match. It was a long one, but it was great. Braun Strowman kicked butt, destroyed James Ellsworth, nearly killed the guy. It was great. Ellsworth getting his little revenge there on Strowman was perfect. The way they did that, perfect. Couldn't have done it any better. I guess you look at the grand scheme of things, Ellsworth, made his, name thanks to Braun Strowman. So, for Ellsworth to get his little bit of revenge on Strowman was cool. Then obviously Strowman beat the shit out of him and nearly killed the guy. So that was cool. Everything about the match I have no problem with. I thought that the length of time was good. I was surprised that the Wyatts, the new Wyatts, Orton and Wyatt were the sole survivors. I thought Randy Orton might be, but I didn't think Bray Wyatt. So that was a little bit of a surprise. And Bray Wyatt actually got the pin and the win. So that's cool. Seems as though they might be giving Orton and Wyatt a tag team title run in the near future. So look out for that. And they might be able to capitalize off that. But I honestly love the show. I love the match, I should say. Really no problems with it. It was probably I don't know if it was one of my favorites. I think the only thing that I was missing from it was a better storyline overall. I think of 2014 when Ziggler did it. It meant the Authority was going to end, and that's something that I think a lot of fans watching at the time was looking forward to, seeing the Authority finally out of power, because it was just so draining, so boring, seeing their shit every week. A lot of us are pretty damn happy that they would be going. The other one that's my favorite, of course, was 2001 with the Invasion versus Team WWF. That obviously had so much on the line as well, and obviously so much star power. That match was stacked. So that was awesome as well. So the only thing I kind of was really missing was a little bit more than just brand versus brand, even though they kind of did it in 05, which was cool. I really liked 06 as well. But probably more than just brand versus brand, something else with it. I don't know what else they could have done. Maybe, I was suggesting maybe the winner gets to pick someone from the other brand to come to their show, or I don't know. They just needed anything, in my opinion, just to make the match just mean a bit more, or make a lot of the matches mean a little bit more, because that was the other thing kind of missing. But I definitely enjoyed the one-on-one match, the singles match, I should say. Really, really good match. Raw winning the brand versus brand altercation overall, probably no surprise, honestly. Disappointing, but you look at the 3 matches, if you want to include the other 2, the 5 matches, you felt as though Raw just had the more star power and all of that. So it was no real surprise that they did win. The championships didn't change brands. I was really hoping, and I kind of said that I didn't think they were going to change brands, but a lot of people kind of were predicting that the IC was going to switch and the Cruiserweight was going to switch and do the double change. Really happy that they didn't. I think it would just be silly. It doesn't need to happen. Certainly the Cruiserweight thing was stupid, and even the IC Championship was stupid as well. Having the same tier belt, 2 mid-card titles on the one brand, would be just ridiculous. It's not necessary, and anyone who was kind of hoping that was going to happen, I really feel like that would have been a very poor decision if they did that, and I feel like little stupid on your behalf if you were kind of hoping for that to happen, because what would you have? Have Roman Reigns with one championship, Sami Zayn with the other. Pretty clear what title means more there. So what, the IC title now gets devalued on Raw because of the US title that Reigns holds, and the same people are, Rusev might go for the IC title, the next week he might go for the US title. That type of crap. Better to have the same tier belt. They're both mid-card to upper mid-card belts. Better to have one on SmackDown, one on Raw. So I'm glad they stuck with that. And the Cruiserweights are dying a big enough death already. Getting their minutes cut on SmackDown wouldn't be a good thing either. And we'll probably talk about the Cruiserweights in a sec. But so the Women's Survivor Series match, Nia Jax tapped out. Dumb. So stupid. What a way to kind of ruin Nia Jax, this monster who tapped out in quick fashion. She wasn't even in the hold for like 5 minutes. She was there for like 20 seconds and she tapped. Why? Why would you make this woman tap, who's dominating everybody in her path, kicking everyone's butt, and now she taps out? So all of a sudden you go from, oh my god, who the hell could ever beat this woman, to, oh, we just saw her tap out. she's not that scary. She just tapped out. So having her pinned and 3 or 4 women jumping on top of her to try and pin her down, whatever. Having her tap out to Becky Lynch, I get it, she's the champ, but that was so stupid. I just could not wrap my head around it. I had a little couple of minor things as well to complain about. I didn't like the women's match at all. Probably the one match other than the Cruiserweight match that I just didn't like at all. Certainly out of the 3 Survivor Series tag matches, I thought the women's match was the worst. I thought the tag match was pretty okay. I like the Usos. They did really well in that match. I'm liking them more and more. Disappointed the American Alpha didn't get a bigger showcase. But anyways, just my biggest issue, just some of the things like, for example, Sasha Banks, when there was 4 of them on the ropes, on the apron, standing there. Sasha Banks standing next to Charlotte, and these two smiling and getting along. When in storyline, they fucking hate each other. So I didn't notice it in the singles match, the men's singles. Wasn't really looking for it, I should say. But enemies standing next to each other when they don't have to be. That to me was stupid. That to me doesn't make sense. You know, I get it. There's only 4 of them left, but yeah, that to me just is dumb. You know, why would Sasha Banks, who hates Charlotte, and why would Charlotte stand there and smile next to each other and be, you know, getting along? I get it, it's for the match, but just a few things like this just doesn't. The storyline doesn't, you know, continue. And obviously, the next night on Raw, all of a sudden they're feuding again, and we're gonna have another match between the two. Oh my god, another one! How many times have we seen this match? I get it. They love it, and you know they think, oh, the crowd loves it. We'll just keep on giving it to them. But it's got to come a point where too much is, you know, not good. And obviously, despite them putting on great performances and their interactions are great, but it can come to a point where too much can happen, and we are seeing a bit too much of it. But yeah, I just didn't like that match. We'll just forget about that one. Delete that from the memory bank. Didn't like it. Cruiserweights, are they done? No reaction at all for Kendrick and Kalisto. No one really cares about them. Kalisto, I've got to say it, he's quickly getting on my shit list. I am growing super tired of this guy. I don't know. I liked Kalisto like 6 months ago, like a year ago. I was a fan of him. Now a couple failed US title runs, terrible promos, botching in the ring. I'm really getting sick of the guy. I see him with Baron Corbin, a rivalry that I just cannot care about. Not a fan of Corbin, but I'm certainly not a fan of Kalisto right now. I think he might have to go on the shit list, the BrendenPlayz shit list. Everyone on the shit list is pretty much gone. Bad News Barrett was on the shit list. He's gone. Santino Marella is the originator of the shit list. The reason why the shit list happened because of Santino. Hornswoggle was there for a while as well. Adam Rose, he was on there, he's gone. Del Rio was on there, he's gone. Sheamus, I think I've taken Sheamus off. I can tolerate Sheamus, I'm not hating him, I'm liking this tag team with Cesaro and Sheamus, so I'm starting to like Sheamus in this role. For a while there, babyface Sheamus was driving me nuts. And even Sheamus, the Sheamus that just beats everyone, you know, dominates everyone, one bro kick and you win type of Sheamus, that pisses me off. But the Sheamus that can lose, a bit more vulnerable, that type of Sheamus, I'm liking him more now. And the one who doesn't really cut many promos either, which is good. So Sheamus is off the list, which means the list is completely clear. There's no one on there right now, but fuck it. Kalisto, he's on the list. Jericho, I'm still in the gimmick for the night. Kalisto's on. Hey, I've had a shit list for 2 years. But I just don't really bring it up that much, because there's generally not many wrestlers that I hate that much where they have to be put on this list. But Kalisto, I hate to say it, but I think he's going to have to join the list. But out of the Cruiserweights done, look, it's going to be so interesting to see how 205 Live does. They're starting it off with a Cruiserweight Championship match to kick off the show, which I think is the best idea. That's the smartest way to do it. I think the Cruiserweight Championship, at this point, is the piss break. It used to be the women, now it's the Cruiserweights. I've heard reports that people are actually can be visibly seen leaving the arena to take a piss or get some food during a Cruiserweight match. I think most people just don't care. Just don't care about the Cruiserweights. Disappointing? Yeah, but you have to kind of, look at the Cruiserweights and they're all pretty bland. They're all kind of same, and the problem with the Cruiserweights, in my opinion, is that they hype it up as action that you cannot see anywhere else. The Cruiserweights do this high-flying stuff that no one else does. But when you watch Seth Rollins, you watch Sami Zayn, you watch any of these guys, other than are not Cruiserweights, they're all doing the same shit. Doing the, as Michael Cole liked to say, suicide dives or tope suicidas. They're flying over the top of the ropes. They're, going through the ropes. They're going, all these different moves. Everyone else is doing it. So when you try and build this Cruiserweight division on a division that is so unique and so special that no one else is anything like them, when in reality everybody is, it's not going to work. All we're really seeing is guys who are smaller than everyone else do the same moves that everyone else does. And they haven't done enough to build the characters. I think I'm liking Cedric Alexander, but they haven't really given me much of a reason to. Rich Swann, all I know is that he likes to dance. TJ Perkins was a massive flop. He was just a terrible champion. So that didn't help. He had a horrendous title run. His performances were just poor, very, very poor. So they started off on the absolute wrong foot, the worst possible foot they could start off. They did. Is there a way to salvage it? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they scrap it next year at this point. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how many people tune in for 205 Live. I will watch the first one. Obviously, I'm going to be away next week, so I'm going to miss it. But I will catch up on it. I'll watch the first one. I'll see if I like it. If it's anything more like the Cruiserweight Classic, which I'm sure is what they're going to try and make it like, it could work. It has more of a chance to work. Mauro Ranallo commentating instead of Michael Cole will be definitely a big plus, because Michael Cole just has nothing. Just no excitement whatsoever for these Cruiserweights. Just doesn't give a fuck. So, and plus, he doesn't know any of the moves. And, to be honest, I don't know any moves either, but Michael Cole's meant to know the moves. At least Mauro Ranallo knows the moves. So, that's going to help. So, the commentary there of Mauro will help. But how many people are going to tune in? Considering, you think about it. You go back to 2012. I keep bringing this up. But you go back to 2012, and just imagine if they made an all-Divas show back then with, Caitlyn or Layla or whatever the fuck as champion. I think Brie Bella might have been champion at one point. I don't know. You go back then and think about that. Would you watch that? Would you watch an all-Divas show back in 2012? I wouldn't. Hell no. And that's kind of where the Cruiserweights are right now. Maybe even 2013, 2014, the women were still shit. So think about it then. Think about the women then and how bad of a situation they were. There was even talk of perhaps scrapping the women's division back then and getting rid of it, which is crazy to think about right now, because the women, are a huge part of the show right now. But it was only a few years ago that, we talked about on the podcast about them getting rid of the women's division entirely, and I was all for it. I said, yeah, get rid of it. No one gives a shit. And to WWE's credit, they've turned it all around. So can they turn the Cruiserweight division around? Anything's possible. But at this point, they're going to have to bring in some names that I think have the potential to do it. I think they're going to have to bring back some more older names, like even bring back a Tajiri. They have to get Neville in there. And as much as I don't like Kalisto, he should be in there. They're just going to find some guys from yesteryear, bring a couple of veterans back, bring back a few notable names that people are generally interested in seeing, and then mix them in with these new guys and help them get established. Brian Kendrick's trying to do it all by himself. He can't do it all by himself because realistically, Kendrick was never really a star, was never really that over. It was a period of time where he was doing pretty well for himself, but he was never really a major name. So trying to build a division around a guy who never really made it is going to fail from the get-go. So it is definitely interesting right now. I'm not saying they're dead yet, but it could die a quick death around WrestleMania time. Wouldn't surprise me if the Cruiserweight title match at WrestleMania is on the pre-show and not the main show. Wouldn't shock me if it's on the Royal Rumble pre-show, to be honest. I think it's getting to that point where it's going to be pre-showed up on the major pay-per-views. Yes, it'll keep a spot on a roadblock because they have nothing else to put on there. But a Royal Rumble, a little surprised that it got like a meaningless match at Survivor Series. Yes, the whole division was on the line, but where was the build towards that? There really was none. That was just a dumb match. That was just a gimmick to get people somewhat interested in the match, and in my opinion, it kind of failed. I think most people were like, hell yeah, let's get rid of it, let's change it, let's make it, put it on SmackDown. Most people didn't really care if it went or not. So, Cruiserweights, I've been talking about it the last few weeks, real bad trouble. Really bad trouble. We'll go to Raw now. Interesting to see that they had another title match on Raw for the tag titles. Sheamus and Cesaro against the New Day. I get why they did that. But again, next week we're having another title defense with Gallows and Anderson now against the New Day. Even though Sheamus and Cesaro never really lost clean, wouldn't it make more sense for Sheamus and Cesaro to verse Gallows and Anderson, considering that Sheamus and Cesaro are still technically, number one contenders, but whatever. So that's interesting. It seems as though Raw, their strategy right now to get a better show, and don't be get me wrong, I thought Raw was the better show this week. I thought Raw was great. I really enjoyed Raw. But it seems like their strategy to having a good show at the moment is title matches or, number one contendership matches. Matches that, have some, big element towards it, behind it. Without title matches or number one contendership matches, their shows are generally very poor. I think the only times that we've ever seen Raw being better than SmackDown is generally when there are title matches or things like that on the show. I really didn't like SmackDown this week. I thought it was bad. So Raw didn't have much to beat. But I did definitely enjoy Raw. So another title match next week. 2 title matches next week, actually, isn't it? So, that's their strategy right now. The Enzo segment was certainly interesting when him coming out being naked and whatever. Very surprised they did that in a PG 2016 WWE. I'm very shocked, but I thought it was funny. I didn't mind it. Him interacting with Lana there, I thought was kind of funny, and it led to a sensible match. An easy little match to do. Rusev, obviously, he'd be pissed off. He's naked in front of his wife, so whatever. I don't have a problem with that. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, the MVPs of the show. Again, what a shocker. But I legitimately thought they had me. I thought they were going to start the feud. And I was thinking to myself while watching, please don't. Why are you splitting these guys up? Why? And then they swerved and said, no, it's all Roman Reigns' fault. So that was funny. The crowd loved it. I think the crowd were like, oh no, they're going to split them. These two are going to feud. And they swerved us. Thank goodness for that. Great stuff. Really good segment. Liked it. I still think this split is on the cards, but probably for WrestleMania at this point. I feel like Jericho's going to hang around to WrestleMania. I think he's going to want to work WrestleMania again this year because he's so hot right now. I think he can just be like, all right, let's just hold off this new album I want to work on for 4 months. I'm having a red hot period of my career right now, perhaps one of the best periods of his career. There's a chance he can make a lot of money between now and WrestleMania, so I think he'll be kind of silly, and I think he'll regret not hanging around till WrestleMania. By the time WrestleMania rolls around, I think his run will have probably come to an end anyways. I think the list will kind of have worn off. Some of the things he's been doing might have worn off a little bit. So, it'd probably be perfect timing. Maybe a Kevin Owens match at WrestleMania would make the most sense. Maybe Owens turns on Jericho, or Jericho turns on Owens. Either one. Sami Zayn was murdered in the ring this week by Braun Strowman, so rest in peace, Sami Zayn. At least that's what it looked like. I mean, Braun Strowman, wow, beat the living shit out of Sami Zayn, and I loved it. Loved it. It was great. Sami Zayn got beaten up, sold it great. Man, Strowman is one of the bright spots right now in WWE. I really feel like Strowman is going to be the next generation of a Kane. I've heard some Big John Studd comparisons. I mean, Braun Strowman's going to be great, man. I think, obviously in the ring, he's not as good as a Kane or an Undertaker or something like that, but he's got the size, the presence, the look. He's got it all. When I looked at Kane in 2001, he was just an absolute giant, an absolute monster. You looked at the guy and went, holy shit, I don't want to mess with this guy. I get the same feeling when I look at Braun Strowman. I'm just like, holy crap, this guy could destroy anyone. So I would keep building Strowman up. keep getting him wins, keep beating people up, and maybe get him to a big match against a big name down the line. I heard a rumor that they might be building towards Reigns and Strowman. I hope to God that Reigns doesn't beat Strowman. If Reigns beats Strowman, I will send a very angry tweet out on Twitter, because that's all I can do. I was going to be like, yeah, I'll break my TV, or I'll flip out, or I'll, scream at the top of my lungs. But it's like, well, what would that do? So I will do what every wrestling fan does, and I will send an angry tweet out, or I will complain about it on my podcast, because that's all I can do. But I will not be happy. That'll suck. As a fan, that'll suck. I thought the main event was great this week as well. Jericho coming out in a Sin Cara mask was interesting. Apparently, him and Sin Cara are buddies, according to Chris Jericho, and it was just a way to troll the fans. So, whatever. I enjoyed it. Good main event. I liked that they went through the crowd. I thought they were going to go backstage. I really felt as though they were going to go backstage and Jericho was going to interfere, or Reigns was going to interfere backstage, because they said that they couldn't come ringside and interfere. So I thought, storyline-wise, it would have made a lot more sense for them to go backstage, and maybe Jericho gives Owens a helping hand backstage, and then maybe Roman Reigns gets himself involved. Obviously, this looks as though it might be setting up for a 2 versus 2 tag match, Jericho and Owens versus Reigns and Rollins, perhaps a mini Shield reunion. I'm all for it. To be honest, I was kind of against the whole Reigns and Rollins thing because of their history, but they haven't brought them together too quickly. It's only been in a couple small little moments that they've come together and put things aside. So, they keep working on that. They keep slowly building towards it. Got no problem with it. I think it'll be fine. SmackDown this week, I thought it was pretty disappointing. Didn't really like it that much. I thought Ambrose is great. His segments there with him not leaving when he was meant to was good. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt looks as though they're going to get themselves an opportunity at the tag titles down the line if they can beat the American Alpha next week, which I think they will. Probably wondering why Randy Orton wasn't in the tag team turmoil match. I was certainly wondering it. Then it clicked onto me that Randy Orton took the week off because his wife just had a baby. So that's why he wasn't there, and that's obviously why he wasn't in the tag turmoil, so they could do a pre-taped little thing on the Titantron there and kind of have Randy Orton back next week. So that's fair enough. That's probably a nice little way to do it. But it kind of feels like that the Wyatts are that good that they don't need to enter the turmoil. But I guess when you think about it, they won Survivor Series for SmackDown. And if I'm a GM, and I do it on my Universe mode all the time, I reward people who, win brand versus brand matches. I reward, so let's say, for my Universe mode, let's say Kevin Owens helps win Survivor Series for SmackDown. I would give Kevin Owens a reward, whether that be a title shot or the night off, the week off, or something, a pay rise, I don't know, something to reward him for doing so well for the brand. So, if you want to go down those terms, I don't think they addressed it, but, realistically, if I'm the GM, I would give Randy and Bray a free ride to the title. Looks as though we're going to get Miz and Ziggler again. Not a big fan of that. Wouldn't mind seeing someone else step up, but who the hell would? That's the thing about SmackDown's mid-card. There's no mid-carders there who are really ready to step up. Corbin and Kalisto again. Like I said earlier, who cares? I don't, that's for sure. And James Ellsworth wins a contract. Beat AJ Styles in a ladder match. I have no problem with that. I think we all knew he was going to get the contract. He kind of announced it a week ago that he was going to get a contract and he signed with WWE. So he's officially a SmackDown guy. Sure. Well, kind of giving him the contract anyways was going to make sense, but as Shane said, but Ellsworth wanted to prove it and earn it, so he did. So that's fine. Kind of feel like now, I'm kind of looking forward to the AJ and Ambrose feud to end, because I'm looking forward to something different. The Ellsworth thing, it's good, but I feel like I'm seeing it over and over. I feel like I'm ready for something else on SmackDown, and I'm just kind of a little done with the Ellsworth and Styles and Ambrose thing. I guess pay-per-view's only, a couple weeks away, so that's fine. They can pay it off there and end that storyline there, and I'll be more than happy to kind of move on to the next thing. So whatever that may be, whether that be John Cena stepping back in, or maybe Undertaker steps up, or Randy Orton or Bray Wyatt or someone, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to something a little different. Alright, so let's see. We have a few rumors to get through. Running out of time. We'll quickly get through this anyways. Dana Brooke, rumor right now is that her push is over. Originally they had plans for her to be top woman on Raw. Looks as though that's done. No surprise there. They've been having her lose all the time, and she's not really wrestling all that much now. She's just in the background, so I think that's definitely probably a legitimate rumor. I guess so. The rumor mill, we might kind of call bullshit or not bullshit on our rumors from now on. Maybe that could be a little segment for us. Let's call out the rumors. Let's see what I think's real or not real, legit or not. Lesnar looks as though he's going to be back for the Royal Rumble and potentially taking on Goldberg at WrestleMania. I'll call legit on that one again. I think that looks as though that's going to be the case. One more title run for The Undertaker. People believe that Undertaker could be getting a championship run by winning it at the Royal Rumble, and Cena might win the Rumble to set up for the Undertaker and John Cena dream match that we've all kind of been waiting for. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I don't think Taker's going to win the title. The storyline that they had mapped out, I think, is a good idea, but I don't think Taker needs the belt, and I don't think Cena needs the belt. Yes, it would be good to see Cena beat Undertaker and get his 16th title run at the same time. It would be a huge moment, and obviously, if they're going to do that, Cena would have to turn heel, because he would get booed out of the building if he did that to The Undertaker. Retired The Undertaker, wins the 16th title, ties Ric Flair, two things that people don't want him to do, and he wins at WrestleMania, a third thing that probably people don't want him to do. So 3 bad things at one time, one go, one show. People would hate that. So if he doesn't turn heel when he did that, it would be a huge, huge disaster. So I will call bullshit on that. And this one's not really a rumor, because Tyson Kidd kind of confirmed it, but I will talk about it anyways. Tyson Kidd scrapped from Total Divas. It looks as though Natalia's husband, Natty's husband, is gone from Total Divas, which is interesting because it seems like that's the only thing keeping the guy relevant, is Total Divas. We don't know why. He kind of looks as though he's pretty angry about it on Twitter, but he said he's not going to be in the season at all. I watched Total Divas today, and they had a lot of segments where they were at Natalia's house. Lana was there with Natalia's dad and mum, and no Tyson Kidd to be found. So it looks as though that's the case. Looks as though Tyson Kidd is scrapped. So is Tyson Kidd in the doghouse, or do they not want to show him on there anymore? They don't feel like he's not a good character for the show. Whatever reason, and he's been scrapped from there. I gotta say that sucks for him, because he's already, he broke his neck, probably won't ever be able to wrestle again. At least give the guy fucking Total Divas, 3 minutes of airtime on Total Divas once an episode. Come on. How hard is it to do that? The poor guy, just let him kind of be in the background or do something with Natalya. I mean, come on, that's just ridiculous. So I feel for the guy. That sucks for him. So looks as though we'll have to say that's legit. He said it himself, so it's probably legit. But, that's something I think we'll do in the future. Legit or not legit in the future. Maybe we'll come up with a better name than that, but that's something we'll think about. All right, we'll talk about some games, and we'll get into your questions. This is going to be a bit of a longer episode, because obviously we're going to miss next week, so I'll cover a little bit more this week to kind of make up for it. The gaming chat. Revisiting Skyrim. The Elder Scroll V Skyrim. A game I played on the PS3, a game I loved on the PS3, but a game I never officially finished on the PS3. Now, I did the main story, I did all the guilds, except for the Thieves Guild, but I didn't get the Platinum either. So that drove me nuts. I was trying to get the Platinum so badly. If you don't know, I love getting trophies or achievements. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite things to do as a gamer. I've got 74 Platinums, which means 74 games on the PS4 I have gotten every achievement for. I love it. It's so much fun. It gives me something to work for. It gives me an extra reason to play games. Obviously, I play it because I enjoy it, but it gives me something to kind of strive for whilst I'm playing a game. And also, I see it as an opportunity for me to do everything a game has to offer. Complete the whole game. Something that I generally wouldn't do. If I didn't care about trophies, I would probably finish half the game or maybe do the story and that's it. Would I do it on the hardest difficulty if I didn't have to? Probably not. Would I collect all the collectibles? Hell no, I wouldn't. I hate getting collectibles. Would I, get 5 grenade kills in a certain mission when I didn't have to? Probably not. So a lot of different things that I wouldn't do, I do because I like getting trophies. So it gives me a chance to explore the whole game and do everything and try it all out. So I love getting trophies. So when I didn't get the Skyrim Platinum on the PS3, I was devastated. Reason why I didn't get it is because I was working on it, I was playing it, and then my PS3 corrupted, and I lost every save file and every game I had. Now, I have a lot of games on the PS3 at the time, still do now, but probably 200 games I lost save files for, which was just, heartbreaking. I think I nearly cried, honestly. It wasn't the first time that happened to me. It happened to me, I think, a year before it. I lost all my save files again. And that wasn't as bad, but it was still so just crushing and just deflating. It sucked. And thank God it hasn't happened again since, because I would probably cry if I lost my save data right now. I have uploaded and I've got a lot of it backed up from PlayStation Plus, but man, it would suck right now if I lost it. But it's been good to get back on Skyrim. At the moment, I've gotten nearly more trophies than I did originally on the PS3, and about half the time I've gotten a lot better at Skyrim. But I'm kind of racing through all the quests, just trying to get it all done and try and get this platinum. It's been something I've been enjoying. I streamed it for a little bit last night. I've only got the College of Winterhold guild to do, the Mage guild, and I've done all the guilds. Then I have to do the Daedric quests. For all you Skyrim fans, you'll know what I'm talking about. I have to do the Daedric quest and a couple of other side little things like learn 20 shouts, get 100,000 gold, things like that. A couple of little things I have to do, then I have the platinum, and it's all done. So I'm so close to getting it done, and I'm so excited to finish it off and get that platinum. And I'm going to do the DLC as well. I have never done really much of the DLC. I've made the house. I did that originally on the PS3, so I've done that again, but I haven't really done the Awakening or Dragonborn DLC, so I get a chance to do that, which will be very fun. Buying new games. I'm going to be buying some new games tomorrow. There's a big sale on right now. Now, I know prices are generally, in America, like, you'll think this price is, like, standard or, like, not a good price, but the prices of games in Australia for this sale tomorrow, which I'm fingers crossed I can get my hands on these games. In fact, the sale might start in 1 hour. So as soon as I'm done with the podcast, I'm going to load the site up and hopefully refresh, and hope that I can get these games. Because Titanfall, it's normally $100 here in Australia, maybe $70 if you can find it at a better store. It's going to be $35. And Titanfall was a game I wasn't going to buy. I wasn't going to get Titanfall because I think Titanfall released at perhaps the worst time of the year, in my opinion. I think Titanfall should have released in March to April next year. Now, I get why they kind of did it, because it rivals Infinite Warfare, a very similar style game to Infinite Warfare. And, yeah, but look, Titanfall, in my opinion, you bring it out in March, April. It's a time when everyone's kind of played Battlefield, everyone's kind of played Call of Duty, they're looking for something different to play. Bring out Titanfall, a lot more people will be more inclined to get it. Now, obviously, Titanfall, you bring it out in November, there's a chance that people might pick it up for Christmas. Now, I wasn't going to buy it at all, but the only reason I'm going to buy it is because this price is too good not to buy it. You know, apparently the campaign's pretty good. The platinum and the trophies looks as though they're going to be pretty fun. And I love first-person shooter multiplayers. I don't like boost jumping, so I didn't like the Titanfall beta, because I don't really like the Titans. I hate the Titans in the game, but I'm willing to give it another chance. For $35, that's the price. I'll give it a chance. So half price, fuck it, I'll do it. Good friend of mine, shout out to Samir, big fan of the channel. He got me Watch Dogs 2 last week, so I was going to buy Watch Dogs 2 in this sale tomorrow, I think for $50. I was going to buy it anyways, so to get it $20, $30 cheaper to what I was going to actually buy it for is great. But he already bought it for me, my friend Samir, so I don't have to buy that. I haven't had a chance to play it. Once I finish Skyrim, I'm going to be definitely doing Watch Dogs 2 next. So that's the game I'm going to definitely be really looking forward to. The review's pretty good. Looks like it's going to be about an 8 out of 10 by the looks of it. The first Watch Dogs, I did finish. I did get all the trophies for. I beat it, did everything in the game. I found it to be just a very mediocre game. Very mediocre, very dull, very boring at times. The storyline was okay originally, and it kind of fell off a bit towards the end. Not a lot to do that was very exciting or fun to do around the city. But looks as though Watch Dogs 2 is a bit more of a colourful, bit more of a goofier looking. I haven't really seen that much gameplay, to be honest with you, but it looks looks more fun. Just looks fun. So I'm looking forward to that, and that will definitely be something I play once I finish Skyrim. Hopefully I finish Skyrim before I go to Adelaide. If not, next when I get back. And a couple other games as well. I'm going to be getting Dishonored 2. I think that's for $45. I was always going to get Dishonored 2. I absolutely loved Dishonored 1. Dishonored 1 was awesome. I hate stealth games, but Dishonored 1 was a lot of fun to play non-stealth, and even as stealth was pretty damn fun as well. So I really enjoyed that. Looking forward to playing the second one and getting all the trophies on that one again. I got them all on Dishonored 1, so I'm definitely looking forward to going back to back. So that's a good price on that. So these games I was already going to buy around Christmas time for myself anyways. So now I can get them at a pretty good price and save some cash. And the final game I'm going to get is, I might say it wrong, but I always say it as Deus Ex. Deus Ex, Mankind. What's the Mankind something? I don't know. I keep forgetting. This is a game I was not going to get. Didn't want it, but it's going to be $35, I think, something like that. For that price, it's like, well, super good reviews. Apparently the game is awesome. I've got to try it. I've got to give it another chance. It's another stealth game, like I said, but you can play it non-stealth. I had the original Deus Ex, and I played a bit of it, and I was enjoying it, but I got stuck in one part, and I got frustrated at it, and I just never went back to it. So I'll probably pick that one up. It might be one that I don't play for 6 to 12 months, to be honest with you, but for that price, it's not going to be that price for a while, so probably a year anyway, so I might as well get it, and I might as well check it out and try it out and see what I think, and it should be good. I still have some games I bought from last year's Christmas that I haven't played yet. Until Dawn and Assassin's Creed Syndicate are 2 games I haven't touched. Evil Within I haven't touched. So there's a few games from last year's Christmas, or maybe the one before, I don't know, that I haven't played yet. So I got to get to those ones as well. Like I said, this summer, my holiday period, I'm playing a lot of games. Like I said, I plan on finishing Skyrim, doing Watch Dogs, maybe Titanfall, getting some platinums, finishing some games. I was working on Assassin's Creed all this year. My goal this year was to platinum every Assassin's Creed game. I started off well, but I kind of, went off that a bit. I kind of got bored of playing Assassin's Creed. I might try and pick that one up again. I need to do Assassin's Creed Unity, which I'm just not really enjoying that much. So that's why it's such a struggle to get through it, because I'm not really digging the game all that much. But I'll try and grind through it. I'll try and finish that. So that's one of the plans there. I need to finish Far Cry 4. I did Far Cry Primal, but I never did Far Cry 4, so that's another game I need to do. Yeah, there's plenty more, but lots of games I want to try and finish off, lots of games I want to platinum, lots of games I want to get done so I can be done with them. Mad Max, another one that pops in my mind. I actually really enjoyed Mad Max, but I haven't finished that one yet. I probably should get to that, because it's actually not mine. I borrowed it from a friend, but I never gave it back to him, so he doesn't remember, so that's all good. Hopefully he doesn't listen to the show, thank goodness, so we should be good. But plenty of games I'm playing. It's a great time of the year. And obviously, as a big cricket fan as well, the new Don Bradman cricket game is coming out, and I guarantee you I'll be playing that every fucking day for the next 3 years. Don Bradman Cricket 14, I played it every day for, I don't know, two and a half years. I only just recently stopped playing it. I love that game. I love cricket, and I love that game. So good. So I cannot wait for that. So that's going to be probably the game that I play the most this summer, to be honest with you, which might not be a good thing, but I just cannot wait to get my hands on that game. So yeah, plenty of games coming out that I'm going to be looking forward to. Oh yeah, the new Walking Dead game from Telltale Games. I really liked the first 2 seasons, so the 3rd season's coming out. Definitely going to check that out as well. So many games. If you're a gamer like me, you buy every game that I do. It's a great time. Starting to get some better PS4 games. The PS4 was pretty crappy in terms of its library for a while, but it's starting to pick up. Oh yeah, I also bought Planet Coaster on the PC last week, and I played a bit of that for a few hours. Super enjoying that as well. I loved Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the day. Some of my favorite games as a kid. So to see that come back in the form of Planet Coaster, and I know Roller Coaster Tycoon World is out, but that game's trash. Planet Coaster's great. Definitely recommend that if you're into those types of games. Very, very good as well. Alright, so we're going to get into some questions here. Let's see how much time we've kind of gone over a bit. I don't know if we had that many questions. We probably don't. So we should be good. I'll answer some questions and we'll get out of here. Alrighty, so here we go. The first question coming in from Roy, the boy. Shout out to Roy. Always sends in great questions. Would you rather see Roman Reigns or John Cena as a double champion? Look, I would rather see neither. If I had to pick one, it probably would be John Cena, to be honest, because Roman Reigns, I'm not hating on Reigns. I like Reigns, but I have cooled off on him a little bit. I'm kind of getting a little over the whole Reigns act, to be honest. But I guess I haven't seen Cena that much lately, so I'd be more inclined to want to see him as a double champion. But I hate the concept of being a double champion. In my opinion, I think it takes away from the show too much, because you have 2 championship belts. If one guy is a tag champion and a world champion, or a US champion and a tag champion, I don't really have much of a problem with that. But someone who's the world champion and US champion, unless this guy, for example, has been like, you look at Goldberg in WCW, built up, wins the US title, keep building, keep building, and eventually he gets to the world champion. Does so well, keeps going through everyone as the US champion, he eventually gets to the world champion. That type of situation, I'm okay with. But when there's a point where you're just giving the guy a second title for the sake of it, like, you know, it takes away from me. Like, look at John Cena and Seth Rollins, for example, when they're, you know, double champs. It didn't really need to happen. You know, Seth Rollins is the US champ and the WWE champion. I think Cena didn't win it, did he? So my bad. So when Seth Rollins was it, in my opinion, it just didn't necessarily need to happen, because it just took away. You just basically take a title away from an entire division. There's an entire division of guys on a show that really has no chance of facing you for the championship now. It's really, well, a main event guy has a chance to win both belts now. So it took away from it, in my opinion. I don't think it necessarily needed to happen. And a double championship reign, I don't think we need that. I think, you know, keep the belt, keep a world champion, the world champion, keep the US champion as US champion. Maybe tag team. That's the only thing I'd be kind of open to. But other than that, not really. Thomas Bella, do you see Goldberg going into this year's Hall of Fame? Absolutely 100%. I think it's a lock. He'll be the headliner of the Hall of Fame. Roy the Boy, do you think there's a chance that Braun Strowman wins the Rumble? Very small chance, but I think Braun Strowman will have a big part in the Rumble. I think he'll probably get 4 or 5 eliminations at least. I think he's going to dominate. Strowman is going to be, you know, he's going to probably break out, become a bit of a breakout star in that Rumble. He's going to have a big moment in there. Him winning it is very unlikely, because I think at this point my pick might be like a Finn Balor. John Cena's obviously a chance to come back and win it. Goldberg's in there. Lesnar's might be in there. So there's a lot of guys that could win it and probably would win it above him. So chances are small, but I think he'll have a big part to play. James Gilbert, what do you think of broken Matt Hardy in TNA? Look, I don't watch TNA. I do check out, you know, when they do a final deletion or whatever, that type of thing. I check that out occasionally. Didn't really like the second one, did Delete or Decay or whatever it was. Didn't really like that much. Didn't really interest me, and I don't know. I just don't really care. Don't really care. Don't watch the product. The gimmick is okay. It's kind of goofy, kind of silly. You know, it's cool, but I think it's not really for me, I guess. But yeah, I've kind of moved on from that. I haven't really paid attention to it for a while. From 37 Will Dog, do you listen to any music from Australian artists? If so, who is your favourite? Not really. Look, my music taste, I like more like a heavy metal type of music. I don't really listen to much like pop or anything like that. I like rap, but I'm not like familiar with many rappers right now. Probably the only one I really listen to is like Logic, but even then, you know, I'm a bandwagon fan, I guess you could say. I check out a few of his songs, like a few of his songs. Probably the only band I listen to is an Australian metal band, Amity Affliction. I think they're freaking awesome. I had a chance to see them live in August, but I didn't go. Yeah, I probably should have went, to be honest with you. I was a little disappointed I didn't go. My girlfriend was, you know, she said she'll go, but I just didn't think she'd like it, so I didn't take her in the end. And my friend doesn't like them, so yeah, I just decided not to go. But they're really awesome. So if you like metal, I think they're pretty sick. Yeah, so that's really about it, to be honest with you. I may listen to more and probably not know about it, but that's really about it. This one's from Happy Harry Hardon. Alright, that's an interesting name. Seeing as AJ Styles always gets more cheers than Dean Ambrose lately, and that Dean gets more boos than Styles or less of a reaction, do you think a double turn will happen in the near future between them? No, I think their feud is about to end, and with that ending, I think it could mean that they'll go their separate ways, and a double turn would be unlikely. I feel like Ambrose turning heel might need to happen because I think he's losing momentum. So a heel turn for Ambrose might not be a bad idea, but a face turn for Styles I think would be a bad idea. I think AJ Styles as a heel is the right fit, But Ambrose as a heel is something I think they might need to explore and try to freshen up his character a little bit. I gotta say, though, I liked what he did on SmackDown this week. It was silly, it was goofy, but, you know, it's unpredictable. It's a little bit more like... They keep saying he's a lunatic. He does all these crazy things. What he did at Survivor Series, coming out and beating the shit out of his teammate, was more to his character. What he did on SmackDown this week was more to his character. So they keep going down this line of actually doing lunatic, crazy, stupid things that he does. I think it's going to benefit him because he's not really a lunatic. He's doing predictable things. Now he's being a little bit more unpredictable and they're starting to do more things that suit his character, or at least what they want his character to be. So ride it out a little longer. I don't know where Ambrose goes after Styles. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see. Johnny Dixon, going along with this whole Randy and Bray thing, if you had to have Bray recruit anyone on the entire roster, NXT included, into the Wyatt family, who would you have and why? Well, I was saying for a while before Sanity came along, I thought Eric Young would be a good fit with that crazy gimmick that he's got. I think he'd be a good fit. He looks as though he's got like the crazy face to him. Yes, he's not as big as the other guys in the Wyatts, which is probably the only issue. But I don't necessarily think they have to all be big. But I definitely think he could be a good fit. But obviously he's got like a crew now, the Sanity or whatever, which I only saw them debut. I haven't seen anything else from them. I think the other two guys in the group, Wolf and the other guy, the weird-looking guy, forget his name, but I'm not a big fan of those two guys. I think those guys kind of a little shitty, but Eric Young I think would be a good fit for that type of group, and I think the Wyatts could use someone like Eric Young in the future. But that's really all about it I see. Alright, that will do it for this week's edition of the show. Again, next week there will not be a show. I apologize again for that. Lots of vlogs coming up. Going to be a busy week. I'll be showing you guys what I'm going to get up to in Adelaide. Should be a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll get some videos done before I go, so you guys have some things to watch whilst I'm gone. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's show. If you did, please leave a like on the episode. Leave an iTunes rating for us over there as well. Help us grow over there. Help keep the show going. I really enjoy doing the show for you guys. If you can support us, the more support, the better. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this week's show. I'll see you all not next week, but the week after for more LTT Podcast and more wrestling chat, gaming chat, you name it. We'll talk about it in the future. Make sure you leave a question. I know pretty much, well, you know, let's be honest, a question for 2 weeks' time is going to be outdated. So make sure you keep an eye on the Facebook page, and I will post a question thread on the Facebook page, or go over to the forums and leave a question over there before next time's show. And get your question answered on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.